What is up, Ramble fam? As y'all can see, this is the third week in a row that I am doing a solo episode over here. And I do got to keep it real with you guys. I have a little bit of bad news. The podcast curse is real. Okay, so Genevieve and I are no longer friends. And obviously this is just something, y'all. I literally said before that I was nervous to even do the podcast with somebody else because of that. And I'm like, okay, 25 years of friendship down the drain. Like literally that fast. We did one episode together and that's the end. We got into a big ass argument and we're not talking to each other. So yeah, I'll just play with you guys. Did I fool anybody? Let me know if I fooled anybody. Okay. I feel like I'm not like a good little skitter like that, but I do got to keep it real. We haven't been able to like align our schedules because she does do like, I don't want to call it like daycare work, but I guess kind of in a way it is. Like she works with special needs children. So she has to, her schedule's like kind of up and down. Like I don't want to say it's on call, but it's kind of like on call. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. Like sometimes she knows in advance when she's going to work. We did hang out this week, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and jump right on into my yucks and yums. For those of you that are new to the channel over here, new to the podcast, every single week, obviously I do a yuck and a yum. That is the up and the downs. I feel the need to re-explain that because I'm like, you know what, since I'm barely obviously getting back into getting the podcast rolling every single week, I'm like, oh, people don't know the certain segments of yucks and yums and hot topics and things like that, which by the way, I think I'm gonna work in a pet peeve type of little segment, okay? Because like a pet peeve of the week type of thing, like of just things that grind my gears. Maybe it'll be a grind my gear segment. I don't know. I haven't fully thought that out yet, okay? But anyways, I want to go ahead and jump into the yucks or yums because it actually goes with Genevieve. Like my yum is Genevieve, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna just go ahead and jump right on into it. I gotta keep it real with you guys, and this is something that I have talked to Genevieve about, okay? So I'm like not putting her on blast and I'm not putting like any type of tea out there in any type of way. But for so many years, I kind of felt like Genevieve was that friend that I couldn't really ask for help when I really needed, like, how do I say it? Like, I feel like she would be like a good person to talk to, but if I needed help like painting or if I needed help like setting up an IKEA drawer or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I couldn't ask her for that because I always got this energy from her. And by the way, we could all always be wrong. You know what I'm saying? I always got this energy of like, I'm like a burden, and asking for any type of favor is like a burden. Do you know what I'm saying? As to where I feel like I could ask any other friend for help in that type of way. I feel like I couldn't do it with her. I'm gonna be so real with y'all. It stems from years and years ago, which obviously we've had this conversation. Okay, so that way you guys can have a little bit more understanding of why I had felt this. And y'all, this was a long time ago. Okay, and I guess maybe in the back of my mind, it just always sat there, and it was always like, okay, don't ask her for help because we were at a Halloween party, and this is like legit like 14 years ago, and we've talked about this before, okay? So it's not like me putting any type of tea out there or me like, you know, talking about her behind her back or anything like that. But we were at a Halloween party before, and y'all, we were sitting, it was like my family's party, and we were all sitting around a bonfire, and she had like a bag of candy sitting right next to her chair that she was in, and the chair was like one of those like rocker reclining chairs. And I do want to go ahead and say this, okay, in her defense that she was in a costume. Well, my uncle had asked her, like, hey, can you pass me that bag of candy? Like, he wanted to just snack on some candy. And she dead ass goes, no. I was like, don't worry, I'll get it. And I literally got it. And I was like, wait, she seems so bothered, like getting asked for a bag of candy. And I'm like, girl, it's literally right there, like at your feet. Like all you got to do is lean forward and get it, you know? So like it had took me a while to say something about it because I was sitting over here like, I'm trying to understand because she's not a mean girl whatsoever. And I was like, why would she say no like that? So it had taken me a while to tell her, like, girl, that was really rude. And my uncle thought it was really rude of you to say no. Like, it's literally right there by you. And I got up out of my chair, which was like, I don't know, maybe 2 feet away from her to go get the bag of candy when all she had to do was lean down. And she's like, girl, like I was in a Halloween costume that was so damn tight, I couldn't even lean forward. It was so hard for me to like even sit down in the chair. That's why I said it. I was like, oh, it seemed a little bit rude. But then as soon as I thought about it, I was like, oh yeah, she was in a very tight Halloween. I think she was dressed as like Snow White. I think she was borrowing my sister. Yeah, she was. She was borrowing my sister's Snow White costume. And y'all, thank God it had a cape because we couldn't zip up the back. So as soon as I had like asked her about it, I was like, oh, and she had said that she was kind of like embarrassed to say like, hello, like I'm too big. I can't really lean forward in this costume. You know what I'm saying? So weirdly enough, in the back of my brain, I always kind of felt like I couldn't ask her for help. Well, my yum of the week is literally Genevieve because I have to say, she has been so helpful with me and my slot channel, y'all, because honestly, I got to keep it real. Like, it is so difficult to do the slot content when you're trying to film vertical and horizontal at the same time. A lot of people want to see the short form content of like your bonuses. People don't want to see obviously long videos of you not like getting a bonus or anything like that. So I've come to realize, oh wow, all the videos that get a lot of views are the bonuses within the slot machine games, okay? But it is very hard, obviously, to, you know, film horizontal and vertical. So having her there, she's been going with me to the casino, and we actually just went 3 days ago. Well, by the time you guys are watching this 3 days ago. And she was helping me out with everything. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I was like, you're so helpful. Like, I really appreciate you. And I told her, I'm like, it's so crazy for so long. Like, I felt like I couldn't ask you for help. And y'all, I got to keep it real. She literally is like the one who is helping me out the most with this, which my dad has kind of been there to help me out too, but I don't trust like his filming and things like that. I don't trust him like with the camera or anything like that. I'm like, he's not a good recorder. You know what I'm saying? But he really does try to help. But I'm like, with Genevieve, I'm like, oh my God, like every time there's a bonus, even though that she's like totally new to slot machines, she's like, oh, it's a bonus. Like, you want me to film? Like she's like on top of it. And I'm like, I so wish, and I told her this, I'm like, I so wish that channel takes off to where I'm actually making money from it, because I would pay her to be like my camera woman. You know what I mean? Because I feel like she's so on top of it. And I'm like, a machine that I want to play when we went to the casino, y'all, I was like, first of all, it was Sunday. And I'm like, why is it so busy? But a machine I wanted to play, I'm like, oh my God, one opened up, but I was still, in the game right there. She was like, I'll go save it for you. And she literally ran and sat down. I was like, oh my God, like she's so on top of it. I was like, oh my God, who knew that she could be so damn helpful? And I told her straight up, I was like, girl, like for so many years, I kind of thought like you weren't, that helpful of a friend. And I'm like, over here, you're like busting your ass trying to help me out. And I'm like, I'm so thankful of that. I'm so appreciative of that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I hope that I can get that channel to a place to where, I could actually afford to like full on like hire her to be my little, help, over there at the casino with helping with the camera, helping with filming the vertical content. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to keep it real, y'all. My ADD brain, it's very difficult for me to film horizontal, but then be like, oh, make sure you film a bonus, you know what I mean, for vertical content. And I'm like, she's so on top of it that I'm like, oh my God, this could be so good. If I could, obviously make some money to be able to pay her to do it, because obviously I can't expect her to be there for free. You know what I'm saying? I feel like in the beginning, obviously she's, helping me out because she knows that I'm, just barely getting it started and things like that. But I do have to say, my yum of the week is that I am so appreciative of her because, oh my God, I just realized, damn, y'all, we busted a mission on Sunday. I'm embarrassed to tell you guys this, okay, because I did have my biggest loss, and y'all know that I am not rich, okay? Like, obviously, I'm still living in my parents' back house right now, and it is my goal in life to own a damn house. So me losing this big chunk of change really hurt, okay? But I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a scenario here, okay? Like, one, I was talking to my parents about it, okay, because my dad's not too big of a gambler. My mom's a big time gambler. Like, she's low-key kind of addicted. And my mom's like, okay, like sometimes you win some, you lose some. She's like, hey, like I lost $3,000, but you know what? Next time I'm gonna win it back. And honestly, like she does. She normally does do pretty good at winning her money back. Well, recently after Vegas, I ended up losing money, okay? I want to say ended up like $700 down, but then I went to the casino and y'all, I won $800, so I was $100 up. So I was like, oh my God. And then right after that, I had lost, I want to say I went to the casino, oh my gosh, maybe like a couple days after I had won like that $800, and I lost like $300, and I went like another 2 days later and then I won 400. I was like, oh my God, like I'm still staying around even, you know what I'm saying? Which to me is a win because I'm filming content in the process. And it's like, even though I'm only making pennies, literal pennies over there, like, by the way, if I'm keeping it real with you guys, if you guys have seen my views over there on Tim's Tiny Spins, I've uploaded, I don't know, maybe about 10 videos, and I'm like, y'all, I've made $70 off those 10 videos. So obviously I'm spending way more money on the videos, but if I could, stay even, then it's like, hey, at least I'm getting content for free, kind of, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, I had my biggest loss, because my mom had tickets to go to the George Lopez show at Yamava. And by the way, if I'm keeping it real with you guys, if you guys are from SoCal, Yamava is just stingy. They have their machines so damn tight. Like, it sucks that they do allow filming there and they allow live streaming there. Like, they are really lenient with their filming policy. So, and by the way, too, that is the closest casino to me. Like, it's literally like without traffic, I could get there in 55 minutes. So it sucks that they allow filming and it is the closest to me. But I just get no type of playback there. I have not won anything over like $200 there. Like, literally, I think $200 is my biggest win there. As to where like Pachanga and Valley View, like all these other places, I've won like $800, $900. Like, I've been able to play for hours. Like a Pachanga, one time I was there with my mom for like 8 hours. I went with the $300 budget. I was there with my mom for like 8 hours. Like, legit, we were playing so many different types of games, and I walked out of there with $500. I was like, how did I play this whole time and I came back with $200? Like, what the hell? I have never had that happen with Yamava. With Yamava, it's always take. Well, because I was there all day, okay, my mom ended up getting a hotel room so we could like chill up there. We got like access to this like VIP section to where they had like hors d'oeuvres, and like they can't give out like free drinks, but like they had like mocktails and things like that. So while I was there, y'all, in the beginning portion of the day, I was like, okay, I'm just only gonna have like a $300 budget. Okay, that went away within, I'm not exaggerating, probably 15 minutes. I was like, I can't get a bonus to save my life. I can't get a good line hit to save my life. And I was so determined to win it back that I kept telling myself, okay, girl, like double down, double down on it. Like go ahead and put it back in the machine and get it back. Y'all, I ended up losing a total of $1,300. And I'm like so embarrassed to admit that because I'm like, one, that's my biggest loss, which technically if I'm like adding up the math, like technically I'm still not even down because I don't know if you guys watch my channel over there. In December, I had won a grand jackpot of $8,900. So it's like technically I'm not down at all. You know what I'm saying? But in my head, since I already put that money in my savings account to go towards my house, like I don't want to touch that money. Do you know what I mean? So like in my head, really, I'm like, okay, no, I'm still down $1,300. Well, check this out. I had multiple free offers at multiple different casinos, y'all. And if you guys know this type of route, any type of way, I busted a mission, okay? Because I was like, okay, at Saboba, I got $300 free play. At Pachanga, I got $200 free play. At Palma, I got $250 free play. At Valley View, I got $200 free play. For those of you that are not gamblers, okay, free play is not guaranteed cash, but you do get an opportunity to turn it into cash. So say, for example, if I go to a machine with $200 free play, I could, if I do happen to win $200 from that. So say, for example, I put in the $200 free play and then I win, let's say $200 on top of that, I could cash out that $200. But you are not guaranteed to turn that free play into cash. But if you do win on top of that, then you get that money. So it was my mission. And I told Genevieve, I was like, girl, we're going to bust a mission. Y'all, it took us, oh my God, like she got to my house, I want to say probably at like 2 p.m. or maybe like 2:30. We didn't get home till 12:30 a.m., y'all. Like it literally took that long. And she was a sport, like literally like just helping me out everywhere to try to convert that into cash, which by the way, I was only able to turn it into $340. So I'm still down like what, $960, which sucks, but at least I made some of it back. Do you know what I'm saying? So like low-key, that probably should be my yuck of the week, but it's not, y'all. Like, oh my gosh, I'm in all type of financial ruins, okay, for my yuck. By the way, to finish up my yum there, I'm just super appreciative of Genevieve because I'm like, the fact that she went to so many places, we went to 4 different casinos, y'all, that like it was a mission. Like driving wise, I was like, this was a mission, but it was so fun. Like I genuinely love our company. I was telling her too, I was like, low-key, we should have done a podcast like in the car, except by like after the first casino, like the sun was already setting. So I'm like, damn, we wouldn't have any type of light. And obviously I can't like drive, but I was like, low-key, technically I could, because you know how people always like live stream and stuff while they're like, driving. So I'm like, low-key, I could have done like a live podcast, set up my phone holder thing to my car. You know what I mean? But then I was like, oh, I didn't think about it until way later. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, low-key, that would have been fun. Like imagine a podcast on the road, like we're on the way to the casino. Do you know what I mean? Anyways, maybe in the future I will do that. But for my yuck, y'all, oh my gosh, like low-key me losing should be my yuck, but I just wanted to talk about this situation with AT&T. Please tell me why. Okay, I have my mom on my phone plan, okay? So in September, I had told her, I was like, hey, let's trade in your phone. And y'all, she's just at that age where she's like, I don't want to trade it in. I was like, Mom, they're offering $1,000. Like, I can get you a brand new phone for free. Like, let me just trade it in. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, you're going to end up, like, if you need a new phone next year, like, you're going to end up getting less money. Like, this is literally all we have to do is pay for the taxes on it. So let me just go ahead and switch it out. And she was like, oh, okay, whatever. So check this out. We both turned in our phones. We had the iPhone 13 before. We both got the iPhone 17. This is in September, okay? We traded in our phones there in the Apple store. They took them, traded it off, whatever. They had let me know there, and then obviously I did get a email from AT&T as well stating that the credits wouldn't get onto the phone bill until up to 3 billing cycles. Check this out. It had been 4 months now, and I'm like, why are they still charging me for these phones? Why am I still paying for this? Like I'm paying $32 a month or $34 a month, whatever the hell it is for these phones. So I go and I call AT&T. I'm like, hey, so it's been 4 months. I know that they had said that it could take up to 3 billing cycles to get the billing credits on there to deduct the monthly payments of the phone off for the trade-in. And they're like, what trade-in? We didn't receive a trade-in. I go, excuse me? I was like, yeah, I traded them in September, okay? Like September 19th to be exact. I'm speaking with a representative at AT&T and they're like, we actually don't have any type of confirmation of you turning in a device. I'm like, yeah, that's funny because I turned it directly into directly into the Apple store. And they said that they would ship it over to you guys. So check this out. I did a little bit of running around or whatever. I contacted, Apple. They were able to send me proof, okay, that that I traded in the phone, that they received it. It literally said verified, and the credit will be $1,000 for each device traded in. Okay, so check this out. I end up calling AT&T back. I say, hey, I have the documentation that it was received by AT&T. They're like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and take like 7 to 10 business days to go ahead and handle that, and then you will see in your next billing cycle that it will be taken care of. Okay. Well, y'all, check this out. Why do I get another like email from AT&T that the devices were not turned in? I'm sitting over here like, I literally already submitted proof, okay, that it was received by them, and AT&T is still doing me dirty, y'all. I'm like, what is going on over here? I'm like, they literally at this point owe me like hundreds of dollars now because they're supposed to be deducting for each device. I want to say it's like 32. I forget exactly what it is. It's between $30 and $34 a month. Okay. I'm like, for both devices, I'm like, you guys literally owe me hundreds of dollars now. And those phones, I have confirmation from AT&T, or sorry, oh my gosh, I keep getting it confused, from Apple that it was returned. So I'm like, I'm sorry, but that's grinding my gears. I'm sitting over here like, y'all better give me my damn money. And I have to play this, back and forth game. Like AT&T is obviously trying to blame Apple. Apple's like, no, we have the confirmation. And they submitted me the proof. I'm like, yeah, it was received by AT&T. So what the hell is going on over here? I'm like, y'all, that is my yuck of the week that I'm still over here battling, which I will update you guys about this entire situation because I am a little bit pressed about it because that's a lot of money we're talking about right here. They're supposed to give me basically $2,000 over the span of 3 years. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like my bill should be like $160 a month, and I'm sitting over here paying like $230 a month. I'm like, can we get it together, please? Like AT&T, do better. And I'm like, it's so crazy to me that I'm sitting over here like, you got the proof from Apple directly, and you're still sitting over here saying, oh no, we haven't received it. I'm like, yeah, what's going on over here? So that's my yuck of the week, y'all. Okay, can I be a little bit messy before jumping into this? Just because right before sitting down to film this episode, I have had some things happen and I just feel it's just something I really want to talk about, okay? And I just want to gather everybody's thoughts and opinions, just out there. Sometimes, and for those of you that don't know this, okay, I changed my main channel into a commentary channel 6 years ago. Before it used to be beauty content to where I did like beauty reviews and beauty tutorials and things like that. However, I quickly changed it into doing commentary because I just love rambling, obviously. Like I'm just a talker, and because the truth of the matter is I really do feel like it is important to have conversations and hear different people's opinions on certain topics. Also, when it came down to the commentary space, I was like, damn, so many people are so cutthroat and they really want to like get out there and get their pitchforks and hunt people down and like cancel people. And I'm like, oh, I'm like anti-cancel culture because I know at the end of the day we all make mistakes and we all do this. But if I'm keeping it real with you guys, the main reason why I wanted to do it is because I genuinely like having a difference of opinions come back at me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, say, for example, if I'm going through something personally, I feel like, I'll sprinkle in some, commentary about my personal life in a episode on my main channel or whatever, or, obviously here on the podcast. And I like hearing from other people because I just find it very intriguing to hear people's different, like, trains of thoughts and their opinions and things like this. So, something happened and I'm like, low key, I'm like, damn, I don't want to have like a big mouth because it's not my business to tell. But let's just say, I'm like, how do I walk on eggshells while saying this? Will you guys get the whole entire gist of it? Because this is just really bizarre. Okay, there's somebody in my life, very close to my life, okay, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna say it. I don't give a shit. Okay, at the end of the day, my family knows that they know that I got a freaking podcast. Okay. Well, my brother, he came out as straight, y'all, which was shocking news to us all. Like, low-key, we all sat down and clutched our pearls. We're like, this motherfucker straight. Like, what the hell? We kind of thought he was gay. You know what I mean? So come to find out, like, he has a girlfriend, okay? Maybe I'm gonna regret doing this, but I just have to talk about it because to me it's like so bizarre. So he's had a girlfriend now for the past few months, okay? One, it started off very weird, okay? This person wanted to have a title like within the first 3 weeks. I'm like, what's the rush? Like, you guys are young. You guys are both 22. Like, what's the rush for a title? Do you know what I'm saying? To me, it's very bizarre. And I think it's a little bit weird that you feel the need to like have a title on it. Okay. That was like the first red flag. There's several red flags along the way. Okay. Which I'm just not going to put all the tea out there. But this specific topic I wanted to talk about because things got a little bit weird. Okay. So he was in town. He decided to have a little bit of a barbecue. Okay. Have some friends over and y'all, let's just say it's obviously my parents' house. It's their rules. They can do whatever the hell they want. His significant other has 2 dogs and they're a little bit bigger. You know what I mean? My sister has a dog and he's little and he was sitting on the outdoor patio and my dad had said to like her dogs, like, oh, like, can you get them off? And I guess it's because they're bigger and they have like darker colored hair too. And the patio furniture is light colored. So I don't know, whatever reason, at the end of the day, it's his house, it's his rules. Okay, that's the way I view it, right? She got so offended and she literally said, she was like, well, why is it fair that your dog can sit up there but not mine? And I'm like, one, the audacity on her. I was like, low key, like, girl, this is your second time, literally second time being around my parents. Like, to me, I'm like, damn, the audacity, like, to me, it's a little crazy, okay? Because I'm like, one, this is their house, and I feel like even if I went to somebody else's house and I had a dog and I like took my dog there and my dog was on their furniture and they were like, oh, can you get your dog off? But then their dog was on the furniture. Even if in my head I thought it was weird, I would be like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and ignore that because it's their house, their rules. Like maybe they just got their dog washed. Maybe they just got him groomed. Maybe, whatever the case is, like it's their rules. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, the audacity on this girl, low key, which, there's been several red flags along the way. But to me, this one, because it happened here at home and like to my dad, who is the freaking homeowner, like, you know what I'm saying? Like to me, I was like, this is weird. And I'm just so curious to know your guys' thoughts and opinions on this matter. One, would y'all ever have the audacity, do keep in mind, to meet somebody's parents for the second time? This is only your second time being around them, because do keep in mind he lives out of state. You know what I mean? Would you ever have the audacity to be like how is that fair? And you're like showing favoritism. Like, y'all, I guess apparently I'm obviously leaving out a huge chunk of the story here because I'm trying my hardest to like not be so much of a chismoso, but I'm like, I'm missing out a lot of the story here. But basically, in a nutshell, like she was basically saying like there's favoritism here. And I'm like, how do you have the audacity to do that? So I want to ask you guys, and y'all can keep it real. Y'all know we love to keep it real over here. And I'm never going to be that fake ass bitch and be like, oh, we listen and we don't judge. No, we listen and we judge over here. I'm sorry, okay? Because that whole bullshit that started online, we listen and we don't judge. I'm like, everyone's judging. Stop. Like everyone in their brain is sitting there. They have a thought. They have an opinion about it, which low key is the same thing as judgment, okay? So I'm like, let's go ahead and keep it real over here. Would y'all go to somebody else's house, okay, on their second time, to where you should, in my opinion, want to be on your like best behavior and kind of like win them over? Would you be like, oh, like kind of have a little bit of a hissy fit over this? Because to me, I couldn't imagine. I like, even if in my head it bothered me, I'd be like, oh, okay, like let me go ahead and do that. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's their house, their rules. You know what I mean? And it's like, you got two dogs, like, and on top of that too, they're like totally way different sized dogs. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, I know a lot of people out there are fine with their littler dogs being on, the furniture and not bigger dogs. You know what I mean? So I'm like, even have that registered in your head. But to me, I was sitting over here like, the audacity. Like to me, I'm like, well, I keep on hearing some red flags, y'all. And I'm like, ooh, this is not looking too good if I'm keeping it real with you guys. But then like specifically that topic right there, I'm like, I had to ask everybody, okay? And I'm like, damn, low key, I feel like, oh, I shouldn't be putting my brother's tea out there like that. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously this is, a personal issue. But I do have to say this is something that I'm just so intrigued to know outsider's opinion on, because I'm like, is it just my train of thought that I'm like, girl, you got some audacity to be sitting over here huffing and puffing that like someone saying get your dogs off the couch? Like, why do you feel so entitled? Like, to me, that's crazy. Like, to me, I don't know. Like, I'm like, whoa, the red flags are definitely there, y'all. And I'm sitting over here like, oh, I feel bad for my brother. Which, y'all, if I'm keeping it real with you guys, maybe if down the road, if they break up, maybe I will, because I'm just... This whole entire situation, y'all, I'm sitting over here, I'm like, whoa, this is weird. Is this how the youngins are these days? Like, obviously, we're 13 years apart, so I'm sitting over here like, is this how people act these days? I'm like, whoa, because when I was that age, I was not like that. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, y'all, let me know your thoughts and opinions on that. Not that my brother's watching this, but if you are watching this, I'm sorry, I'm having a little bit of a big mouth. I was so flabbergasted by that, you guys. Like, honestly, straight up, I was sitting over here like, this can't be real. Like, are we on pranked right now? And no, she for real. She was for real. It's 100% legit, y'all. I was like, this is some crazy shit. I'm like, the audacity, y'all. Like, I just couldn't. Anyways, okay, getting into the hot topics, which, by the way, this is obviously just going to be like a hot topics. I feel like every single freaking solo episode with me is going to be just a hot topics episode. If you guys have not seen my previous episodes, they have been a little bit controversial. I guess we're rolling with the controversial train, okay? Like, honestly, I had said from the jump of this that I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to talk about lighthearted stuff. But then I'm like, if the main topics just keep on being controversial, whatever, so be it. I just feel like sooner or later, obviously there's going to be some lighthearted ones. We do have some fun episodes planned with Genevieve, and those will be the more lighthearted ones. But I just feel like, oh my god, y'all, this 2026 is just starting off controversial. I just feel like there's so many things within the news that are going on that I'm like, well, there's so many controversial hot topics to talk about, and whatever, so be it. I just feel like at the end of the day, screw it. What I want to talk about is what I want to talk about, and I want to talk about this Nicki Minaj situation, y'all. But we'll get into that in the end, because that is the main topic. Before we jump into that, okay, I wanted to talk about this Brooklyn Beckham situation that's going down. I don't know too much about it, okay? I did read his full story, but if you guys don't know, I guess Brooklyn is separated from his family right now. They haven't talked in some while. I had saw before, for the past few months that TMZ has reported that the brothers don't speak to Brooklyn, and Posh Spice and David Beckham don't speak to Brooklyn, which to me, I'm like, wow, that's a little bit of a sad situation right here. But everything that is coming out right now, I'm like, this is bizarre, okay? But then also, I'm sitting over here like, I gotta keep it real with you guys. Like, everyone always sits here and they say, like, oh, first world problems, first world problems. I'm like, okay, low key, this is first world problems, because he put out this full statement basically saying that Posh Spice and David were putting stories out about them in the media, and he didn't like that. And he said he doesn't want to reconcile with his family. And he said, like, his brothers blocked him, they don't talk to him anymore. But what I wanted to talk about is that, one, he was pressed that I guess apparently Posh was supposed to help out his wife with her wedding dress, and I guess like she dropped the ball. Like, don't quote me on this, but like 11 days before the wedding. And I didn't want to read the whole damn thing, okay? I just briefly wanted to talk about this because I'm sitting over here like, there's something really bizarre that I wanted to talk about. I was like, this is some weird shit, y'all. But obviously everyone's calling this out to be first world problems because they're like, oh my gosh, like apparently this girl's a billionaire, her dad's a billionaire, So she's like super rich, so everyone's like, okay, you're sitting over here crying about this. But I do have to say this. I never like to be that person that says like, oh, first world problems or whatever, because like at the end of the day, okay, I always say this, like what's a freaking, molehill to me may be a mountain to you, and what's a mountain to me may be a molehill to you. So this whole of like, oh my gosh, like, this going on in the world, that's going on in the world. It's like, okay, but this is what's going on in his life right now. And I feel like at the end of the day, we shouldn't get over here and dictate people's feelings and what they're going through and say, oh, well, this is happening and this is worse and that's happening and this is where I'm like, oh my God, y'all, everybody is going through shit, and everybody should feel, validated in speaking about their, current situations that they're going through and their hardships that they're going through, even though we're talking about a freaking billionaire here. We're talking about some rich people. You know what I mean? It's still their problems that they're going through. And I do feel like at the end of the day, we can't sit here and police what everyone talks about. Like, if I want to get out there and I want to talk about some first world problem that I'm going through, if it's heavy on my mind, then it's heavy on my mind and I want to talk about it. So I do think it is a little ridiculous that so many people are saying, oh my God, he's crying about, a wedding dress or whatever, and she's a freaking billionaire. Who cares? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my God, then don't read it. Do you know what I mean? Then if you're so pressed about it, then don't read it. But I do gotta say, like, it is kind of funny about the whole entire dress situation. But what I wanted to talk about, okay, is I guess apparently she dropped the ball on this because I guess Posh was low-key being a little bit of shit, like shady, and trying to get them to break up because she was bringing people around that Brooklyn, I guess, previously had dated or talked to or whatever, kind of like, trying to stir the pot to get him to break up with his now wife, which, by the way, I do find that to be bizarre. However, I have seen before. If you guys have ever seen that show, I think it's called Mama's Boy or Married to a Mama's Boy or something like that on TLC. A lot of them have done similar situations. I have heard about moms doing this before. If they don't like, the girlfriend, fiance, or wife that their son is with, that they'll try to like stir the pot to get them to break up, which is crazy to me because, I do got to keep it real, y'all. Like, trying to take it into my situation, like, I don't like my sister's husband whatsoever. Like, I think I had said this before. Maybe I set it up on the Patreon before. I don't like him whatsoever at all. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not sitting over here trying to stir the pot to get them to break up because I'm like, hey, that's my sister's choice. She could choose to stay with this bullshit all she wants. It's not my life. You choose who you want to. And I feel like at the end of the day, as parents, as siblings, as grandparents, whatever, as friends, like, even if we don't like somebody else's significant other, it's like, that's their choice and they're choosing to be with that person. And yeah, we may have that, thought at the back of our mind of like, damn, I hope they break up, but we are not in control of that, and we shouldn't, burn bridges and burn relationships just because we don't like somebody else's significant other. I'm also in that same type of boat of like, let them live their life and let them choose their mistake, even though we could see it from the outside and it's a damn mistake. If they choose that, you know what I mean? That's what they choose. So I do think it is a little bit bizarre that Posh allegedly is out here trying to like break up their relationship. But here's what I wanted to talk about the most about this whole entire situation is, I guess apparently they had rehearsed this wedding dance to where Mark Anthony, okay, first of all, this is how damn, talk about first world problems. They got freaking Mark Anthony to perform at their wedding. But once again, I guess apparently his wife, the dad of her or whatever is like a multi-billionaire, okay, like super 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 rich. So obviously they're gonna have like stacked performers at their freaking wedding, but they had rehearsed this special dance, okay, according to his Instagram stories that he had posted from his damn iPhone notes app over here, that he had said that they rehearsed this wedding dance to Mark Anthony performing. And I guess apparently Posh got out there and started dancing with him inappropriately. Okay, that's the word that he that he chose to use. Okay, and he said that it was inappropriate and he felt uncomfortable that they had to redo their wedding. I guess they had a whole second wedding because of this whole entire situation, which I'm like, Lord, y'all, first of all, that's crazy. Second of all, to say that your mom was dancing with you inappropriately, I'm at a loss of words, y'all. I was like, can someone fill me in on that? Because I'm not understanding. Like, was she like grinding on him or something? Like, because obviously that's bizarre as hell. So I don't know if he because he said that he felt uncomfortable and that she was dancing on him inappropriately, which I'm like, one, maybe he worded it badly, okay? Like, this is what I'm thinking right here. Maybe he was saying it's inappropriate of her to steal that moment, okay? But I'm like, the way he worded it kind of sounded like, I was like, wait, was like Posh Spice over here, like, twerking and doing the Dougie on Brooklyn Beckham? Like, you know what I mean? I was like, why did he specifically word it this way? Because it sounded so damn inappropriate that I was like, what the hell is going on with Posh Spice over here? I'm like, it's a little bizarre. It's a little peculiar. And I was like, this is some weird shit going on right now. But, yeah, if you guys know some more details about that, let me know. Because to me, everything that I have seen of Posh Spice, I do got to keep it real. I feel like she is like poised, elegant, like all this. Obviously, we don't know her behind the scenes, but I do got to say, she seems like she conducts herself, in a certain type of manner with like, elegance and like, grace. So I'm like, this is bizarre. Obviously, we don't know the truth, but I'm like, this is some crazy shit. Also, there's he said, she said, like people are saying that like Brooklyn put stories out there in the press about David and Posh and vice versa, which I'm like, who would have thought that this English family right here would like be so messy? And I think it's so damn hilarious because I'm always seeing people from the UK bash on Americans and say that we're trashy and we're messy and we're ghetto and we're this and we're that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and look at this, like, British family over here being so damn messy, planting stories about each other. And I'm like, they're both rich as shit. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I'm like, damn, this is some messiness. Another story. Oh my gosh, this is another thing that I had known that like I wasn't going to be able to film with Genevieve this week, but this is another story that I was telling her about because I really wanted to talk about this up on the podcast with her specifically because I'm like, how would we handle this situation? There was this story that was going viral on TikTok, right? To where this girl from New York, she went down to Miami to meet up with some girls that she had, befriended online. I think they became social media friends. And she went down there to Miami to go, link up with them and to go out with them and go party with them. And I guess they were going to a club. And I guess apparently, and so many people came out with story times about this topic because I guess apparently down in Miami, they're very, I don't know the right word to use, but basically they like judge people. They stereotype people of like, oh no, we only want hot girls in the club and we only want hot guys in the club. So if you are not so pretty, if you're not so fit, if you don't have like a bomb body, like they may charge you to get in, but if you're like a hot girl, they'll let you in for free. Okay, a lot of people had came out and said that that is actually true. Okay, which kind of blew my mind. I did know, I ran into a similar situation before in Vegas, but I'll talk about it after. So I do know that that is a thing, but I didn't know, in 2025, the story happened in 2025, by the way, in 2025, that this would be happening. Obviously, I don't know, with like, social media and the whole body positivity movement and things like that, like, and people getting put on blast and businesses getting put on blast. I'm like, damn, like big ass clubs in Miami do things like this. It's crazy. So this girl went down there with this group of friends and she had said that they went out there and she was the only one that was singled out by the bouncers or by the people at the door or whatever, and said that she needs to pay $300 to get in there. And they were calling her plus size, which, by the way, I'm obviously not going to play her TikTok, but you guys could just literally type in the search bar on TikTok to see this story. She's not plus size. I said, if she is plus size, then I'm a freaking house. Like, honestly, I'm like, this is some crazy shit. Like, she's really not plus size, but I guess maybe all of her other friends were like, like Victoria's Secret model thin. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to figure out how thin they were because y'all, like, when she literally was standing up doing her story time talking about the situation, I was like, she got a flat stomach and all. Like, yeah, she was curvy, don't get me wrong, but I was like, she got a flat stomach. Like, she is far, far from plus size, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, her friends ended up sending her home in an Uber, and they went into the club because they were allowed to get in for free. So she left. So she ended up doing a story time about this because I guess like it blew up on the internet and everyone was like, oh, this has to be fake. Come to find out it was not fake. It was real, that she was internet friends with them. She went down there to meet up with them. But from what I'm gathering, okay, I haven't heard any of these girls' side of the story, but I guess apparently, people are saying that they were like, oh, well, they barely had met her. They didn't really know her like that. So they, didn't want to like ruin their night. And they were so excited to go to this club. And I'm like, I got to keep it real with you guys. Even if I barely had met somebody, and I'm being so serious with you guys, say, for example, I started my night off having a couple, pre-drinks at a local bar, and we, met a friend of a friend. Okay, let's just say at the bar, and they wanted to tag along with us to the club. And it's my first hour meeting this person. If they were not allowed into the club because they're too plus size, okay, I'm not gonna like stay there at that club. Like, I'm gonna be like, oh hell no, we're leaving. Like, let's go somewhere else where you're welcome. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that would be my initial reaction. So the fact that these girls dead ass let their friend who traveled from New York to go meet up with them in Miami to go out, the fact that they let her go back to the hotel or wherever she was staying is crazy to me. And she said too, like she won't be friends with them or anything like that after this. So, thank God for that. Thank God that she's having some pride. But I'm like, this is weird. I'm so sorry for my water breaks, y'all, but I don't know if you guys could tell, but my throat is real dry, y'all. Anyway, so I was like mind blown by this, and I'm so curious to know everyone's reaction. And y'all know me, okay? I love hearing all different sides of the story over here. If there is any opposing opinions, which I do believe this is obviously the popular opinion because everyone was, calling out this group of friends and saying, damn, like the club is never that serious. Like, to put a club before your friendship is insane. I want to hear from the opposition, okay? I want to hear from the opposing side over here. If you, and please, we're not going to attack you in the comments, okay? We just want to know if you happen to be siding with that group of girls. Please let us know, because I want to know what your thought process on being like, well, no, like we wanted to go to this club, so we're just going to go ahead and let our friend, ride back to the freaking hotel alone in an Uber. Like, oh, by the way, too, they were all saying, like, I guess from the clip that had, like, went viral, it's like she had did a little bit of a story time, and I guess, like, they ended up posting from inside the club, so they sure enough went to the club, and she was in the Uber going back to the hotel. So I want to know, like, that, like, y'all, I got to keep it real with you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you guys, like, if I were to ever have like a successful podcast, like, oh my gosh, podcast to where I would be able to like have guests on, like, I would love to have these group of girls on. Like, I would want to ask, like, hey, so like, what was it? Like, was there something in this club like that you guys needed to do? Like, what would be the reason? Because y'all, I got to keep it real. Like, I would never, and I mean never, ditch somebody like, oh, because they're too plus size to get in the club and they gotta pay. Going back to my story about Vegas, you know what's so crazy about my group of friends is, I don't know if you guys know this, okay, and this was a long time ago. I haven't been to a Vegas club in years, y'all. I hate dressing up. I don't own any nice clothes. Anytime that I go out in Vegas, it's normally to Fruit Loop, which is like a little gay area. So I go to this club called Piranha, which everyone loves because there's like 4 different dance floors there, and they play all genres of music, and you can go dress however the hell you want. There's no dress code because I hate a damn dress code, y'all. Like, one time I thought I was dressed nice because Mac, when I had worked for Mac, they had sent me out there for a event, and we were all gonna go to this club after work, and so I was wearing dark black jeans with a dressy shirt, and I had dress shoes and everything, and they straight up told me I could not go in because I had on black jeans. I'm like, how the hell they could even see that they were like jeans because they were black? I'm like, so annoying. So we didn't get in, so we went somewhere else or whatever. And even that group that I was with, who I was only friends with one of them, but it was like a whole group of 8. Like, they ended up leaving too. They were like, oh no, screw this, let's go somewhere else. I was like, oh, period. Like, it made me feel good that they actually, went with me. Well, check this out. Why is, y'all, my phone is vibrating right now and there's no notifications coming up. Like, what's going on? Why are you vibrating? Like, that's really throwing me off right now. It's kind of sketching me out. Anyways, is somebody listening to me right now? So one time I went with my homegirls, okay, and before, it used to be like several, like when we had to like went to like Omnia and XS and what's that other one? LAX, I think it's called. I don't know. So many different clubs, right? It would always be, in order for the guys to get in on the guest list, you have to be with a girl, okay? Like, say, for example, 2 guys can't go and get in for free. Y'all know how they are. They want girls up in the club, you know what I mean? I guess to encourage the guys to go over there and spend money on the girls, Anyway, so I went out with a group of my homegirls, dead ass. I was the only guy, okay? So there was 4 girls, 1 guy. obviously me. And well, I'm like saying this in the tense of like walking up to the club because we were all on the guest list and I was supposed to be free. I walked up there and they legit were like, oh, it's gonna be $100 for you. And I was like, we're on the guest list though. And they're like, oh, the girls are on the guest list, not the guys. Guys are not allowed on the guest list. I'm like, what the hell? So my homegirls legit were like, oh, let's all pitch in, literally. And everybody pitched in to pay for me. I was like, oh my God. Well, not like pay for me because like I pitched in too, but I think we all pitched in like, I don't know, like $20 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, my group of friends literally were like, oh, I got you. Like, we're not going to let you get singled out and like you be the only one that has to pay. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, it's so crazy to me that I'm like, y'all, like my group of friends would be like, oh, hell no. Like, we're all going to pitch in because that's not right. Like, we all get in for free, but then you got to pay. Like, that's messed up. You know what I mean? And I'm like, this group of friends over here legit let this girl, you know, travel from New York, go down there to Miami, and you're gonna ditch her. Like, that's just crazy to me. I do not like that, y'all. Oh my gosh. I have to talk about this, okay? Currently, right now, at the time of me filming this, J-Lo is going viral. If you guys did not see this whole entire Glambot ordeal, I don't even know at what awards, okay? I gotta keep it real with you guys. I'm like, I saw the video, y'all. At the time of me filming this right now, there's 30 million views on this video of her doing the Glambot to where she seems like such a bitch. Like, honestly, straight up, I gotta keep it real. I was like, whoa, I have heard things for years about J-Lo that she is just really a rude person, not a very kind person, and she's just very dismissive to, you know, a lot of people, and a lot of people have put her on blast before. Several other workers have said before what a like evil person she is. Like, she's just, you know, not kind, you know. Well, it's currently going viral right now that she was doing this Glambot, and you know the guy who does it, is his name Cole? Y'all, I forget what his name is. Okay, I'm so sorry, Daryl. No, I forget what the hell his name is. Okay, he is very famous on TikTok for doing these Glambot things. Okay, check this. There's like a whole whirlwind of stories right here. Okay, it's going viral because obviously J-Lo looks so rude. He's like, oh, hi, nice to see you again. She doesn't say anything. She gets into her pose and he's like, thank you so much for coming. Doesn't say anything. Like, completely ignores him. And it's all on video. It's all audio recorded. You could clearly see she did not acknowledge him whatsoever. I was like, this is rude. This is really rude. Check this out too. I think the irony of it all is I was like, whoa, that Glambot was not very forgiving to her. Like, low key. Like, yeah, I know that she's like in her 50s. Don't get me wrong. So I'm not trying to like come across as like age shaming. It just wasn't flattering. I was like, she looked a little rough. You know what I mean? I think J-Lo's a gorgeous woman. I think she's absolutely beautiful. But the lighting of it, you could just see where the shadows were. Like, it was just not forgiving whatsoever. And I'm like, that's the irony of it. Because it's like, girl, when you got a horrible attitude like that, when this guy was being so damn friendly to you, look how that Glambot did you. So a lot of people were posting pictures and putting that in there. But anyways, this went completely viral and people were showing before, like, obviously J-Lo has been into some like heated waters, I would say, within the past 2 years. Like, so many people calling her out for being just so rude and just so degrading and just, you know, not very like friendly to people and just, I would say, dismissive towards people. Check this out. I'm a firm believer in people's PR teams dig up things on other people. So this guy, and who does, I should have saved his damn name so that way I could at least be calling him by his name. But for those of you that know the Glambot guy, he ended up making a video and he said that, oh, you know, a lot of people ask me like, who's my worst celebrity encounter? And he's like, honestly, I don't have an answer for that because I do appreciate anybody going out of their way to do the Glambot. It's not a mandatory thing. You don't have to. So anytime that some celebrity gets out there and goes to the Glambot, they're just doing it just to like help me out or whatever and, you know, get the Glambot shot and that's it. So he basically was giving a very, you know, PR trained video and saying like, oh, like everybody's so kind. And he brought up J-Lo and he had said, you know, I appreciate her going out of her way to do this. And he was like basically defending her in the aspect of like, oh, the red carpet is a very chaotic atmosphere and everyone's like, oh, picture here, picture there, interview there, interview there. Like, it does seem, you know, chaotic and I will give him that. However, everybody was commenting, oh, wow, J-Lo's PR team is working right now. You know what I mean? To obviously get him to get out there and like, you know, make a video about this whole entire topic. I'm like, y'all, let me look in the mirror right now. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my lip gloss was like curled up on my lips. Y'all. Oh, that's going to look real bad. Y'all disregard that. I should have checked earlier because I felt that it was like getting like gunked up right there. I'm like, oh, no, that's going to be a mess. So anyways, everyone was commenting underneath that video like, oh, J-Lo's PR team must have hit you up or whatever. Check this out. Gag of it all. I'm a firm believer and I do think that when, you know, say for example, in this case, the guy's video was making her look bad, not him necessarily making her look bad. He obviously just posted it because it's freaking J-Lo and she's obviously an A-list celebrity, right? Well, now he's going viral because everyone is saying, oh, he's mean too. Because a lot of people were saying, like, oh, can I hire you for weddings or birthdays or whatever? And y'all, people are putting their screenshots out there all of a sudden that they have hit him up before to hire him. And he goes, well, technically, yeah, you can hire me, but there's a reason why Glambot is only at the Grammys, the Emmys, the Oscars, like blah, 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 like all these awards. And he put money bag signs. And then there's also a story going viral right now on Twitter. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I didn't even read the whole damn email, but basically somebody had emailed him to see about hiring him, and he was basically getting at the fact of like, oh yeah, it's super expensive, like without saying how much it is. You know what's so crazy? There was this guy, and I completely forgot his name, when I was like, in the process of starting up a beauty brand, which obviously never came to fruition. One day I'll tell that story. I hit up this well-known, okay, he does like all the photography for like Jeffree Star, Huda Beauty, like a Kylie Jenner, like he does the photography and setups for everybody. Okay. So I had hit him up to like get a quote before. And you know what's so crazy, y'all? Like at the time, like I didn't even have 100K followers on social media. You know what I mean? And I hit him up and he gave me like a full list and breakdown and price of everything. Like he did not make it seem like, oh, bitch, I know you're broke, so like, why are you asking? And low key, that's kind of how this guy is looking right now, because he's kind of like alluding to the fact of like saying like, oh, well, there's a reason that it's only here, and like putting money bag symbols to somebody that had DM'd him about hiring him. I'm like, at the end of the day, if somebody is hitting you up to like ask you like, oh, like, do you do, these types of gigs? Like you could just say, yeah, like what's the event for? How long? Like how many hours do I need to be there? And then give them a quote on it. You don't need to sit there and allude to the fact that they can't afford you. It's like, just give them the damn price. Do you know what I mean? Or just say no. Like to me, that's kind of rude, but I do have to say this. Maybe J-Lo's PR team is working a little hard right there, and they're like, okay, since he made me look bad, I'm gonna make him look bad too, which I don't know. When it comes down to these things, I do think it is tit for tat, and I do think that there are people out there that are like, okay, let me take a jab at this person and let's see what we got on him, because all of a sudden now these are coming out. Like he has millions of followers on TikTok. Like why didn't this come out before? Like why wasn't these DMs exposed before? You know what I'm saying? Anyways, make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions about that. And y'all, can we go ahead and keep it real though? Like J-Lo, she just seems, I don't want to say the word, y'all, but she just seems like a see you next Tuesday. Okay, I'm sorry. Like every time I just see her up in a clip, like I always used to say this about Ellen DeGeneres too, and especially because my aunt's like soon to be ex-wife had like went to the Ellen DeGeneres show, and she was like, she's such a bitch. I'm like, everyone says that. I'm like, damn, you could just see the way that she is and like fan interactions. I'm like, that's how J-Lo is. I'm like, ugh. People like this bother me because I'm like, damn, can't everyone be like Post Malone? Like, y'all, Post Malone is out there in the bars taking pictures with people, buying people beers, and just being so damn nice to everyone. I'm like, and I get it. Obviously, when you're a celebrity, like people are coming up to you and blah, blah, blah. It's like, girl, I get it. Like, you know what I mean? Not that I like understand like that, but I could understand that obviously like people coming up to you like when you're eating or whatever, but it's like, girl, you're doing a photo. This guy's being nice to you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but also there's countless stories out there of J-Lo being a bitch. And I'm like, girl, stop it. Hey, but that's why I kind of feel like her career's tanking a little bit, in my opinion, because she's getting some real bad publicity these days. Anyways, y'all, the main story here, I want to talk about Nicki Minaj, y'all. Nicki Minaj, you guys know, okay, I think it was like within my first solo episode that I was doing, I was like, I hate when celebrities speak out about political stuff because I really do feel like it is just so divisive. And I feel like at the end of the day, when you are a musician, let's just say, or even an actor, it's like you're going to have fans from all different religions and political backgrounds. And I really do feel like when you get out there and you start speaking about certain things, then you kind of exile a group. Do you know what I mean? And I think that that's where I have that whole mentality of like, oh my God, if I like you for being a rapper, stick to rapping. If I like you for being an actor, stick to acting. Like, oh my gosh, like I don't care to hear your political views. I don't care to hear all this religious stuff, because at the end of the day, there is going to be an opposing side to that person's opinion. And I do think that when you are in the public eye for entertainment specifically, it's kind of like, why don't you just keep it neutral? Do you know what I mean? Like, no one's asking for you to speak out there. I am in no way, shape, or form trying to suppress anybody's, voice. They could get out there and say whatever the hell they want. But I'm just saying, speaking from a well-rounded, like person, like I consider myself to be well-rounded, okay? And I don't mean just like physically. I mean, mentally, okay. I'm just saying you're going to obviously offend somebody. Like, say, for example, if you get out there and you're like super, super Christian, it's like, okay, well, you may offend some Muslims out there. You may offend some Jewish people out there. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like when you get out there and you have a certain type of political view that somebody doesn't agree with, then you're obviously making that person feel uncomfortable or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, it just sucks. And this is why sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I wish people would just shut up about things. Well, I obviously, as a gay person, wanted to talk about this because now they're calling Nicki Minaj homophobic because she got out there and she called Don Lemon. You know what? Let me read the tweet for you guys. Don cocksucking Lemon is disgusting. How dare you? I want that thug in jail. He would never do that to any other religion. Lock him up. Can I just say this? And I already know, oh my God, cue in, oh, Tim's the conservative, y'all. If you guys did not check out last week's episode to where we did talk about some, controversial things, I'm like, oh my God, I hate that people have already said that about me just because I'm like, what, am I supposed to agree with everything from the left? And if I don't agree with everything from the left, oh my gosh, I'm a conservative, I'm a Nazi, I'm a this, I'm a that. Like, it's crazy. I got to keep it real. People from the left need to calm down because they get to name calling people things way too much. And I'm like, low key, people end up looking so hypocritical. Like, I got to keep it real with you guys. If we're really speaking controversial, I'm like, how are people getting out here and saying that they're anti-fascism, but then they were literally in the streets happy and like rallying and having a good old chant over Charlie Kirk getting shot? I'm like, you do know that's the definition of fascism. But like, you're literally saying that you're anti-fascist, but then you're celebrating somebody else getting assassinated for having a different political view than you. That's fascism. I'm like, hello. Like, I'm a high school dropout, and even I realize that that is literally the definition of fascism. So I'm like, sometimes people, end up looking a little hypocritical, and I'm like, you kind of look a little dumb here that you're out here like, yay, anti-fascism, and woo, I'm glad Charlie got assassinated, and then you're like, oh, you're saying you're anti-fascism, but you're quite literally showing that you're a fascist. Like, what the hell? Like, it's weird to me. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like people need to calm down with the name calling. And the reason why I'm specifically saying this is because I have seen all the clips now of like Don Lemon at the church, and y'all cue in, okay, call me conservative. I don't give a shit. Okay, this is my opinion. I don't like that I saw countless protesters screaming and cussing in front of literal kids, okay? I'm talking about like 8 years old. Like, I saw a little boy crying because some freaking Looney Tunes people out there are screaming, Nazi, you're an effing Nazi, Nazi, screaming at these people when there's kids there. I'm like, you're never going to get me on your side. I'm so sorry. When you're getting out there cussing and screaming at kids, I don't like it. Going to protest in a church too, I'm like, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I don't even know, like, is this a Christian church? I'm assuming it's a Christian church because Nicki Minaj is chiming in, and I feel like recently she's been speaking out a lot about the, Christian religion and whatnot. But I'm sitting over here like, nonetheless, I feel like that's just not okay. Like, I'm so sorry. You call me whatever the hell you want to call me. I'm like, why are you going inside of a church? Why are you cussing and screaming at kids? Like, the clips are there all on Twitter. You guys can literally type into the search bar on Twitter. I'm never going to get behind that. Even if you're out there, I'm all for peaceful protesting. But to me, I've always said, and I even said this before on a podcast with my ex-co-host, I'm like, I hate when people get on the freeway too. Like, you piss me off. People have emergencies that they need to get to. Get out of the streets. Go protest in front of the Capitol buildings. Go protest in front of town hall. Like, whatever political official that you want to protest in front of, go do that. Don't block the freaking roads, okay? And don't do this shit to kids. Don't get violent out there. Like, I'm never going to be for that. And this is where I start to like drift away because I'm like, damn, they're sitting over here screaming Nazis, which by the way, I still don't know why they're screaming at them Nazis. But then countless clips of them screaming at people in front of their kids to where kids are now crying, like little kids, little kids. I'm like, to me, that is a little bit crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I do got to keep it a buck with you guys. I don't even fully know what the protest was. To be quite honest with you, I don't give a shit because I'm like, you're over here cussing at these little kids they're so innocent. They don't know, like, whatever the hell they're protesting. Like, they're just seeing some crazy people scream at them and cuss at them. Like, that's traumatizing to a little kid like that. Like, y'all, like, literally go on to Twitter and type it in and type in like Don Lemon church protest or whatever. You'll see all the clips. I'm sitting over here like, oh my God, like, you are pushing people away. Like, say, for example, these protesters out there, let's say that they really do have, a good what's the word that I'm looking for? A good intention. Do you know what I mean? In mind. Like, they're literally out there trying to do something really good. You're losing people, especially like me, as soon as I see clips like this. Like, I'm never going to get behind somebody screaming and saying F a Nazi to, a 6-year-old little kid. Like, I'm not going to do it. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm already anti you because that's crazy. And you seem like you need to be in like a psychiatric ward because I'm like, you're screaming at a kid as if like this kid, like, do you know what I mean? They're at church with their family, like, and you're over here, like, it's weird to me. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, getting into the Don Lemon of all, because I know I kind of like, sidetracked there. Nicki Minaj calling him cocksucking to me is TMZ reported a homophobic slur, okay? I am so sorry, y'all. I have heard everybody call people cocksucking. Do you know what I mean? Like, girls have called other girls that, guys have called guys that. Like, I gotta keep it real with you guys. I have heard several people say that to people, especially like in traffic. Like, you fucking cocksucker. You know what I mean? Like, now all of a sudden that's like a homophobic slur just because it's Don Lemon and just because he's gay. I gotta keep it real with you guys. I don't think that that's homophobic. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm just like, she's over here just calling him that. I don't know. To me, I understand how a lot of people want to label Nicki Minaj as homophobic, and they were calling her transphobic before, and I'm like, y'all, she quite literally has like the biggest gay following ever. Do you know what I mean? That I'm sitting over here like, how is that homophobic? Do you know what I mean? And like, I don't know. Like, to me, y'all, I got to keep it real with you guys. I feel like, one, she shouldn't have name called him whatsoever. Like, she could have got out there and said, like, she don't like what Don Lemon did. You know what I'm saying? But it's certain things, you know, that I feel like people say, like this, her inserting cocksucking in there and him being gay. Obviously, it's like, oh, she was saying that with a homophobic tone to it. I do think it was a bad choice of words because now, obviously, she can be labeled as homophobic and it's a homophobic slur. But I got to keep it real with you guys, y'all. I've heard girls call other girls cocksucker. You know what I mean? So to me, I get it. You know, I get like there's gonna be people obviously that are probably commenting right now in the chat like, oh, come on, he's gay. She obviously said that for a reason. But I'm like, you guys, yes, Nicki Minaj right now, low key, she's super controversial, obviously, for getting out there and with her political views and her religious views and all these things and out of nowhere. I totally get that. But like for so many years, she has been so supportive of the gay community. Do you know what I mean? She has had, you know, countless, you know, trans people even work for her too. So that's why I'm sitting over here. Like, if she was truly homophobic, if she was truly transphobic, like all of these things would have came to light years ago. Do you know what I'm saying? But obviously she gets out here and yeah, you could say that she did use, you know, a bad choice of words. In my personal opinion, I think for her stature, she just shouldn't even had said, you know, anything derogatory towards him. Do you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't have even called him a bitch or whatever. You know what I mean? But I just feel like she could have said her opinion without saying it. So obviously it gives people this ammunition to say this, but I truly don't believe that she is homophobic. Obviously my opinion will change if I start to see like her attacking the gay community and her saying other things, you know, of the sort out there. But I do got to keep it real. I'm like, y'all, like I have heard countless other people. Do I have this shit build up again? Okay, no. I've heard countless people, like I'm telling you, guy to another guy, like girl to a guy. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, to me, it's like saying bastard or bitch or like what, like, you know what I mean? I've heard so many different people say this to not just gay people. Do you know what I mean? And yes, look, I fully understand. Okay, people are gonna be out there being like, oh, it's because he's gay. Like, obviously, you have to understand that this. But I'm like, y'all, coming from a gay, if somebody calls me a cocksucker, I'm like, okay. And first of all, y'all, like, that's the truth. You know what I mean? Like us gays, we be doing that. You know what I mean? So like to me, I'm like, okay, it is what it is. Like I'm just one of those people that first of all, you guys should know me by now. I'm just not offended by a whole lot of words. Do you know what I mean? I do think it would be homophobic if she obviously got out there and she called him a faggot. Then I feel like, okay, you know what I'm saying? But when you know, say cocksucker, I'm just kind of like, okay. Also, I do have to say this too. I've seen countless clips, and I'm so sorry. I know a lot of people like Don Lemon out there. I know that he was on CNN for the longest time. I don't think like he's like a journalist like that. I think if you're a true journalist, I think that you would be down the middle with everything, okay? Like you would report the facts and the facts only. I have seen him in countless interviews, and to me, he seems very biased, okay? Like I'm keeping it a buck with you guys. If you guys go out there and watch his street interviews, I see his clips all the time on TikTok, and I'm like, he tries to push people's opinions and sway them, and it's like, if you're a true journalist, you're supposed to get out there, speak on the facts solely, even if the facts don't align with your views. You got to get out there and say the facts. And I've seen him, the way that he questions things, you can totally tell that he does have a bias to him. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, it is a little bit unfortunate that I was watching his, you know, interviews with people in that church, and I'm like, you could clearly see the way, like his motive. You could clearly see the way that he was moving, and it sucks because I'm an open-minded ass person, okay? So because I was so intrigued on this topic, you know, about this whole church protest thing, I wanted to know, like, what was the reason for this? And I'm like, you could tell by his line of questioning that he obviously already had a preconceived idea in his head going in there, and he was not neutral with the topic of conversation that he was asking. He was speaking to, I believe, one of the pastors there, or priest. I don't even know exactly what he was. And his line of questioning and the way that he was coming at him, I'm like, you're not a journalist. You're getting out there and you're one of the protesters too. By your line of questioning, you could tell that you are not neutral with it. He wasn't looking to get a honest, decent conversation in with this person. He was looking to push his narrative, and I don't like that, you guys. Like, I got to keep it so real with you guys. I'm a very, very open-minded person, and I like somebody who gets out there. And even if you don't like somebody, you report on the facts, you question certain things, yes, but don't start spinning your narrative into it. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're obviously there to be a journalist, as he was claiming to do, then you're obviously going to want to get that piece of information and not sit there and be, argumentative with the person, but obviously get out there and ask the questions, get the answers, be open-minded to it, because I really do think, not that I'm a freaking journalist, not that I ever went to school for any of this, but I think the number one job of a journalist should be is to be open-minded, because at the end of the day, anything is possible. And I do think that if you are going to be a true journalist, you cannot have any type of bias. You need to report on the facts, question on the facts, and that's just it. You can't go in there with a bias already set in mind and kind of push a narrative, push a tone. And I kind of do feel like that's what Don Lemon does. I'm so sorry. I've watched countless interviews, and I just really do feel like he does have a bias to him. Like, I got to keep it real. Like, this is where I tell you guys, when it comes down to politics, y'all, like, I'm so down the middle. Like, I look at, like, Jesse Waters. I don't know if you guys know Jesse Waters from Fox. I'm like, he's also biased. Do you know what I mean? Like, every time that he questions towards somebody, like, let's keep it real. The Republicans have done some good. The Democrats have done some good. If you can't sit there and say that, then to me, you're biased. And I feel like Jesse Waters, like, he will never admit that the Democrats have done some good. They've passed some good laws. Do you know what I mean? And if you get out there and you're solely with the mindset of like, oh, the Democrats are the devils and oh, the Republicans are the devil, it's like, then you're already biased. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you shouldn't be a journalist then, because you already have that bias in your brain to automatically like push a narrative to sway your audience one certain way. And to me, I'm like, no, I want to watch a real journalist who is like right down the middle, speaks on the facts and the facts only, and questions people based on the facts, not based on their opinions. Do you know what I mean? Which I'm like, there's a clear divide there when it comes down to that. And I do got to keep it real though. I have come to realize I fell down a little bit of a rabbit hole. When it comes down to journalism, a lot of people are paid by outside sources to push a certain narrative. Like, I had thought at first like, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. No, that shit's true, y'all. There's several receipts out there that are proven now that there are countless people that are on the news or, even private just YouTubers, you know what I mean, who claim to be journalists that are paid by the Republican Party or paid by the Democrat Party. Like, y'all, there's been several pieces of information put out there that these people are persuaded in that way, which at the end of the day, I think it sucks because those people are sellouts. Do you know what I mean? Which, I can't even lie to you guys, y'all. If somebody came to me with a big fat ass paycheck and were like, hey, to push this narrative for $5 million, push it, I'll be like, hey, let me go ahead and get out here and, for $5 million, you know what I mean? So this is why a lot of times, like, I'm like, damn, I guess I can't be too judgmental, but I really do feel like if your heart and soul lies, in journalism, then you got to be non-biased. That's just my little 2 cents on it. I do have to say this, obviously, when it comes down to the Nicki Minaj situation, it's hard for me to, like, ever say that I'm gonna like, oh, I'm never listening to Nicki Minaj again, because I gotta keep it real with you guys. And like, even speaking about like, oh, her getting called homophobic now, like, you guys, I have openly said this before, Nicki Minaj legit was my savior, dead ass, of like me coming out. Like, I was so insecure, y'all. Like, coming out, I just felt so big, fat, and ugly. Like, when I started going out into the gay scene, like, I was like, oh my god, like, I'm Shrek. Like, I'm literally Shrek. I'm big, fat, tall, bald. Nobody wants me. Do you know what I mean? And listening to Nicki Minaj's songs, y'all, during that time of my life, I'm like, gave me all the confidence that I needed. Like, y'all, like, even when I started going to the gym and like losing weight way back then, when I was like 20 years old, 21 years old, I would be blasting Nicki Minaj in my headphones, and like, just gave me that, confidence that I needed. And it's so crazy that I know there are literally tens of thousands of other gays out there that feel the same way. And Nicki Minaj was literally their icon, especially within the gay community. Do you know what I mean? So, obviously my opinion may change moving forward. Like, if she gets out here and she's like actually homophobic and saying like, oh, gays are disgusting and shit like that, then obviously I'll be singing a different tune. But I think calling somebody cocksucking that's gay, I just think it's just distasteful. I don't think it's homophobic. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, y'all. And to be quite honest with you guys, like, it's quite literally true. Like, I'm a very like factual, person like that. Like, I'm like, okay, it's cut and dry. Do you know what I mean? If somebody got out there and called me cocksucker, I'd be like, oh, thank you. It's the truth. It's the truth. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's why I just kind of like, okay, at the end of the day, it's like, if somebody's like, oh, bitch, you take dick up the ass, I'd be like, yeah, I do. Okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the truth. So that's why I'm like, to me, I'm like, how, I don't know. Like, to me, I really do believe, though, these words, and I've said this so many times by now, you guys are probably tired of hearing it. I feel like the word racism, I feel like the word freaking even fascism now, and homophobic, transphobic, like all of these words are used so easily that the power of it is going away. Like they no longer have meaning, because true homophobia and true transphobia, yes, it exists out there, but I think it's those people out there that are so, anti-gay, that they're out there saying, oh, gays are disgusting and they should all, be vanished from the earth and they should all be hanged and blah, 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 blah. Like those to me are the real homophobes that really do truly exist. Like people getting out there who calls a gay person a cocksucker, to me, I'm sorry, that's not a homophobic remark. It's a true remark. You know what I mean? It's like true. You know what I mean? But that's my hot take on it. And I know it's an unpopular opinion. I know everyone wants to hate Nicki Minaj. But I just wish that she would shut up. To be quite honest with you guys, I'm like, girl, stop. Put out the album. Put out the music. Stop talking about politics. I'm like, if I was friends with her, I would just shake her. I'd be like, stop. You don't need to get out there and like speak about your opinion, girl. Like, damn. Like you're dividing the whole fan base. And now everyone's getting out there and they're saying that Cardi B is a better rapper than you. And it's like, as much as I love Cardi B, like she's not a better rapper. Like, girl, stop. Oh my God. But now, of course, everyone has fuel to their fire. And I'm just like, oh, girl, Nicki, please shut up. Get off Twitter. Get off Twitter, girl. Anyways, that is it for this episode. Make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions about everything. And I'll catch you in next week's episode. Peace out, Girl Scout.